right?
Yeah, yeah. Just the budgetary concerns and the unexpected, right? Planning for
Right.
one thing and then all of a sudden surprise
Yeah, for
makes
sure.
a big difference. So, and you were kind of at that initial phase. You guys kind of do some demographics, heat maps, patient
We do full
demographics.
onboarding, understanding the practice, how many physicians, how many mid-level practitioners, how much staff, how much space they have. We get their leases and do full abstracts of their leases and
Questionnaires.
their occupancy cost analysis at that, the current occupancy cost. We do questionnaires of what they think they need. I mean, drill down into, as we call it in the medical field, how many butts and seats you need at a
Hmm.
desk. I mean, literally fine tuning it all the way down. Where does your staff live? I mean, how many of them are traveling in? So if they are coming in from outside the metro area, that they how easy is it for them to get to where they're going? And then also, especially with the zip codes, we find this a lot. Physicians, medical practice managers will say, "Oh, most of my patients come from this area right here." So when we do the heat maps, they find out, that is one of my top areas. Might not be my largest.
Yeah.
It may, I didn't realize my second largest was from this area. So it really helps to identify, do we really want to stay as one solid practice, one location, or should we stay where we are, and maybe our growth is taking the medicine to the people and doing some satellite clinics. So it kind of helps gives this the big picture. After we onboard them and we collect all that data, we then sit down with the clients again and show them what we found. If let's just say we're all rolling onto a real estate deal in this case, at that point we have now assessed through that questionnaire how much they need. We've helped tweak the square footage, the area, etc. And then at that, our business partner, Peter, then starts looking at site selection, combing the market. He always has his finger on the pulse of what's available and where. A lot of times we love finding off market deals because if there is a full redevelopment, a lot of times that tends to be a better market value for the client. So Peter will go through and he puts through in a software of all the properties that he found, whether even if we look at them and go, that's an awful property, we put all options in there because we feel like they need to see everything out there, whatever fits their constraints, what they need to spend, what the square footages they want, the whole not whether they own it, whether they lease it, whether we find an investment group or a developer to own it, purchase it, and do it. All of that information's in the software, and we review it with the client, and they're able to go in and say, interested, not interested, absolutely not. Oh my gosh, that's the best thing I've ever seen. Um, Once they have ranked, we will go through every property with them because sometimes this happened yesterday. Physician said, "Yeah, no, I don't want to be there," and we pulled up the building. We're like, "Well, here's the inside. Well, you know what? Maybe we should look at that." Yeah,
Hmm.
it is for consideration. It still may be an absolute no once we see it, but it helps you. It's kind of like looking at houses. It helps you hone in more of what you want, right? As
And some of the
opposed to
things you
just having
don't.
this one thought and going right to that one place. Um, Once the real estate, Peter handles all of the proposals, LOIs, lease negotiations, etc. And as he's working on that, Rich is doing a lot of the financials of this is what it's going to look like. If you build, here's what your occupancy is going to be. If you lease, if you want to own, here is what the pro forma looks like. This is how it will how your money will perform, which is always the funny thing with us is because when we go and we run pro formas, especially with the docs that wanted to own their business or their office, we say, and here's your equity requirement. And that equity's got to be under your pillow, that cash. It's got to be in
Hmm.
your back pocket, in your backyard. It can't be, that's not going to necessarily, that's not finance. That's not don't go leverage every one of your houses so you can come up with this money. I mean,
Hmm.
that would be a poor business decision, right? That's how you get upside down. And if they can't come up with the full equity, we also will work to backfill the investment for them. So they can be a part owner. We help them write, um, or not write, but look at their operating agreements. So the physicians group can still be in control of the investment, even if they're not the, even if they don't have the most money in it, right? The most investment in it.
Right.
Once all that does, so Peter's handling that, Rich is handling. I am at that point going back and doing, helping find architects, space planners, or I should say that backwards, space planners, architects, GC selection, figuring out what kind of equipment, FF&E, furnishing, all the way to X-ray equipment. And I am helping gather and get all that schedule together so that as soon as we can swing that first hammer, I will then quarterback our whole team. I will become the owner, if you will. I'm
Owner's
the
rep.
owner's rep to go in. I run the OAC meetings. I allow the physician or the practice manager to say, "You're welcome to call in on the meeting. I'll video it for you," or this week, no reason for you to be there. I just need to walk it with the architect and the contractor to make sure everything's fine, because our goal is for our clients to practice medicine, and we'll
Hmm.
do the rest. And so it's almost like a turnkey deal. We would like to say, we are done. Here's your certificate of occupancy. Here are your keys. Go save lives. That's
Right.
kind of our way we want to help the client.
Yeah. Do what you do best, and we'll handle this side of things for you.